Lagos, no doubt, has enormous potentials for economic growth. It remains one of the few states in the country that is self-sustaining. Little wonder it remains the destination of hope for a better life to so many youth. However, the influx of people every day into the state has created a deficit in job availability. The current administration of Mr. Babajide SANWO-OLU, upon assumption of office, introduced the themes agenda, which has served as a blueprint for the administration since inception. Under the fourth pillar, which is making Lagos the 21st century economy, the government has outlined some steps towards achieving sustainable economic growth through empowerment. Lagos is the commercial hub of Nigeria and by extension, West Africa. It is the financial hub of Nigeria, which accounts for over 80% of Nigeria's foreign trade flow. It generates over 50% of Nigeria's port revenue. It contributes 26.7% to the country's GDP and accounts for 65% of industrial and commercial activities of the nation. This makes it imperative that the state continues to be positioned for sustained economic development. In order to create a conducive business environment to attract investment and industries, the government engaged the organized private sector, OPS, for effective collaboration. This is to improve the ease of doing business in the state by simplifying licensing procedures and investment processes. Similarly, there is the continuous review of the state's public-private partnership policy to give investors the confidence to invest in all sectors of the economy. One of the strategic conceptions of the administration in achieving this is the Lekki Free Trade Zone. The zone is a multi-use facility with zones for industry, manufacturing, residential, and tourism. It is a means of extending the frontiers of wealth creation by providing socio-economic infrastructure to generate further wealth for the state. In addition to this, the state government created a synergy through the creation of Alaro City and the Lekki Deep Sea Port that would impact positively on industrial development. Effort has stepped up already to advance the progress of work within these areas in order to make the state a 21st century economy. In line with the creation of an enabling environment for the people, government prioritized the challenge of inadequate housing in the state. One of the avenues employed by the government is the completion of ongoing housing estates at Ikorodu, Badagry, and Lekki, while ensuring the sustainability of existing ones. On the strength of this priority, the governor presented keys to the apartment of Alhaji Lateef Jakande housing estates to 492 families in the median rent-to-own housing scheme of the administration.
We know how important and how critical housing is to everyone. And so for us to make a promise and to begin to fulfill those promises, I think it begins to speak to the credibility of the government. And we're just starting. Even if you don't believe what we say, you cannot believe what we do. Because this is one of the things that we do. And it is evident. So you will certainly believe what we do. And so it's with great pleasure and joy that I give this remark as we hand over keys to our allottees of Alhaji Lateef Jakande Gardens.
A deep appreciation to His Excellency for allocating me a 2-bedroom flat free of charge. I have been on this housing issue since 2008, and that was about 10 years before retirement. After retirement in 2018, I had nowhere to go. I had to write to the governor last year, and the governor graciously said he will undertake the payment of the 2-bedroom flat.
Another notable achievement is the administration's commitment to empowering the citizenry towards attaining economic growth. The Ministry of Wealth Creation, through its agency, Lagos State Employment Trust Fund (LSETF), in partnership with the Access Bank plc, launched the Women Initiative with a target of 5,000 beneficiaries to improve the livelihood of women. The launch of LSETF Women Initiative is part of the administration's effort at creating opportunities for affordable finance for female small-owned business to thrive. It is an avenue to drive financial inclusion among women, create financial access for small and medium enterprise (SME), and create employment and wealth for the growing youth population. A total sum of 4 billion naira was disbursed to 794 Lagosians with indigenous business ideas.
But more importantly, beyond the 794 that will be collecting checks, is also a very bigger initiative that the Employment Trust Fund and our partners, Access Bank, have also put together, which is what we call the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund and the W Initiative. We have increased it from 4 billion now to 10 billion. The Employment Trust Fund has over 57 locations that you can go and access each of these things. So they have forms that you can fill online. They will screen you very quickly, and I'm sure the process is not so difficult. And I hear that the interest rate is the cheapest that you can have anywhere in this country. And they are willing to give you loan of up to 5 million naira. Give you loan of up to 5, but if you don't need 5 million, if it is 200,000 that you need, it's available. If it is 100,000 that you need, it will be available. If it is 1 million naira that you need, it will be available. It will be on your need.
I'm an entrepreneur because I started my business like 2014, but due to one or two circumstances, it has not really been able to stay afloat. So recently I decided to go for this LSETF W initiative funding, and I've been able to get it. So I'm trying to, because I'm an interior designer, a fashion designer as well. I also do makeup. I do like 3 different businesses. But I was trying to see how I can bring the 3 together like a franchise. And then with this fund, I'll be able to do that.
It's a very wonderful one, to boost business and to help these people that want to start a business to access a fund that will help them to move forward, move to the next level in their business. So it's a very good one, because one of the challenge of business of entrepreneur these days is fund. So if the government continue to push this thing forward, a lot of business will pick up and they will move forward. So it's a very good one.
Skill acquisition, empowerment, and poverty alleviation are equally used as a tool of empowerment to tackle unemployment by the current administration. 6,252 youths graduated from the 17 skill acquisition centers located in the 5 divisions of the state. They were trained in vocations such as fashion designing, art and bead making, aluminium fabrication, shoe and soap making, tie and dye, hair braiding and weaving, amongst others. The graduates have increased the number of micro, small, and medium entrepreneurs in the state. Certainly, their socioeconomic status is bound to improve. Through the Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, 1,050 vulnerable and indigent women were empowered through a skill acquisition program themed Mega Empowerment. The beneficiaries received materials such as grinders, sewing machines, hair dryers, popcorn machine, as well as generating sets.
I'm a graduate of the Women Development Center in Agege, where I was trained in tailoring and fashion designing, and it was a very intensive training and very impactful, I would say. I just graduated in December. I started in January, and I thank God for the skill. I thank the governor of Lagos State, Governor BABAJIDE SANWO-OLU, for the opportunity, for the training, for the skill acquisition, and also for the empowerment by giving us this machine. We have learned the skill, we have been given the equipment to hit the ground running. I'm over happy. If there's anything like that, I'm so happy. Deep inside my heart, I say thank you. I'm just too happy for this great opportunity given unto me to get the sewing machine. It's a new year and it's a new gift in my life for me to move forward in life. Thank you, I'm so happy. This machine, I pray in the name of Jesus, is going to launch me into my greatness. The sewing machine that I'm using presently is really giving me headache. I'll be praying towards getting another one. So when I was called that I'm one of the beneficiaries of this machine, I said, wow, by the grace of God, I'm going to use this sewing machine to make a lot of clothes, to make money to my pocket, to help my husband at home, to do one or two things. It's going to fetch income, and it's also going to make opportunity for people to learn under my skill.
In line with the global campaign on gender equality by the United Nations, the governor launched the He for She campaign. The objective of the campaign is to call on the male gender to support the fight for gender equality in the state. It is also aimed at accelerating women's economic empowerment, support women's role in peace and security processes, advance women's political participation and leadership, and eliminate all kinds of gender-based violence. Promoting gender equality is crucial to accelerating sustainable development for Lagos State, which is in line with Mr. Governor's themed agenda for a greater Lagos. Further to this, the ministry produced and distributed 450,000 face masks and 30,000 hand sanitizers to the general public to fight COVID-19 pandemic.
Before I talk about the economic implication, I will also let you know that it was a way to encourage our students. It was a way to jumpstart the economy at the very local level. Because when we started the production, we had to go to the markets. We had to go around Lagos to look for people who sell Ankara fabrics. Ordinarily, because of the lockdown, they've been at home doing nothing. But at some point, they had to come out to supply the Ankara fabrics. They had to come out to supply threads. They had to come out to supply lining. They had to come out to supply a lot of things. And then we're also cooking for those students every day. So we had to get people to supply foodstuffs and all of that. So in a way, it was a way to, one, help the students because we gave them stipends. It was also a way to help the people whose shops had been locked down for several weeks.
Also, in the fight against domestic and sexual violence, the state government embarked on a work tagged Work to Commit and Act. This was a clear message that the state government will not tolerate any form of domestic or sexual violence in the state. To demonstrate the administration's commitment to better the lot of people living with disabilities, an empowerment program was also organized for them in order to make them fully integrated into the society. 300 people were empowered by the Lagos State Office of Disability Affairs through a vocational empowerment program titled Empowering Special People.
So far so good, the program is okay. In fact, I was not expecting it to get to this level. I learned barbing, and I never knew I could do something like that because of my challenges. But with the initiatives and idea of physical challenged person learning something like an empowerment, I find it out that there is ability in disability to get to a certain level in life. And I want to thank the governor, Mr. SANWO-OLU, for his efforts to help the physical challenged ones, for coming to our aids to support us and to make sure that financially, morally, humanly, we grow.
I felt great, and I'm glad at least I'm opportune to have received one of the presents. So on behalf of myself and my colleagues, my father's, mother's, brothers. I want to appreciate our coordinators, the official and the office of LASODA, for giving us the opportunity of witnessing today. We pray Almighty God continue to be with them and guide them aright.
I feel great. I'll say it because I start it and I end it. I thank God for this. All I will say is that may God continue to help us to make all these things, to use all these things to be successful in life.
Through the Ministry of Agriculture, the administration equally empowered 1,750 farmers with various agricultural production assets and inputs through the Agricultural Value Chain Empowerment Program. The impact of such initiative is that it will increase the volume of economic productions and move the state further in its quest for food security.
Not just farmers alone, you have butchers, you have market women and men, you have marketers, you have those in the value chains, red meat value chain, poultry value chain, fisheries value chain, and so many of them like that. So essentially to augment what they do around production for us to be able to take our food security levels up, to also augment what our producers are doing in a way and a form or a manner to encourage them, for people to see that yes, they're able to produce these kind of food items, and for people to also be able to buy. So essentially to help with them making the margins that they need to make to show that there's profit in the businesses in which they currently are.
Similarly, in creating a sustainable food security and diversification of the economy in the agricultural sector, a 5-year agricultural roadmap with the theme A Sustainable and Inclusive Growth Strategy with the citizens at the core was introduced as part of the efforts of the government in making a greater Lagos. The maiden edition of the Eco City Farmers Market was organized by the administration. This market is designed to become a platform that gives farmers access to modern farming technology and accessible linkage to markets. The platform is also an inclusive model which epitomizes the ideal transactional nature of the farming industry that is expected to promote productivity, profitability, and in turn, prosperity for farmers.
You will have gotten this chicken for 3,500 outside in the open market, but we sell it here for 2,000 naira.
I'm happy to be here today because it's a very good initiative, and I would say it's a very good initiative. You know, the challenge at times is how to get this produce to the market. So that Lagos State is organizing something like this today is quite impressive, it's enviable, I tell you, and it's worthy of emulation.
It's a direct interaction between farmers and the public. Because of these ideas, I am praying that Lagos State will never go down.
I got to know about Eco City Farmers Market through my social media platform, and it has been wonderful so far. We came in all the way from Kwara State for this event, and it has been awesome so far.
I didn't come to buy meat, but I ended up buying almost 12 kilos of meat.
Of course, I think this is going to help the people to keep on making it, keep on growing it, give them encouragement to make their own business, help them become more creative and sell them directly to the consumer, so it's pretty good.
Thank you, Lagos State. Thank you, Nigeria. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
To further expand aquaculture and supply water to the 194 plots in the estates, government embarked upon the construction of a water project at Ikorodu Fish Farm Estates, Odonguyon. Also, 40 women and youths were trained on cage construction, stocking and management at Afowo Community, Badagry. This is in a bid to utilize the water resources to empower them for fish production in the states. The administration has equally begun the implementation of various projects in the agricultural sector, which are targeted at revolutionizing food production and consequently reduce dependence on other states for food supply. Some of the projects include the 32 tons rice mill at Imota, which will soon commence operations. The Agric Yes is aimed at breeding new generation of agro-entrepreneurs in the areas that the state has competitive and comparative advantage, such as poultry, aquaculture, piggery, and vegetable farming in the state.
What is key for the Ministry of Agriculture is also partnership with other states. And the reason for this is we know Lagos State is one of the smallest states in the country, just 3,577 square kilometers. That means in terms of land mass, we don't have enough of it. Now, the reason for this is for us as a ministry and as a state, we need to develop land banks, meaning we need to get lands in other states for production. Even if we don't get the land, but to partner with this state for them to get their farmers to also be able to produce for us to offtake. So partnership is critical for Lagos as it is. So that is also a strategy that Lagos started way back, I think as far back as 2015, even I think before 2015. But it's something that we are progressively looking at to make sure that we increase the land banks that we have across the country. In some areas, Lagos will not produce certain food items or even rare certain animals, but we can get these animals or these food items from other parts of the country. So it's a function of, okay, how can we strategically partner in such a way that we are assured of constant availability of these items. So which is where this government to government relations is necessary and is key. And I see that under the administration of Mr. Babajide, a lot of those collaborations are ongoing. Since Lagos is actually the market for sub-Saharan Africa, so it's imperative that people even partner with us. And we are open to such collaborations and such partnerships. So this is actually a key element under the themes agenda for us as a ministry and as a state government.
As part of the palliative measures given to farmers during the COVID-19 pandemic, the government distributed maize and sorghum seedlings to feed millers, farm settlements, and other stakeholders in the livestock industry. These were measures to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 pandemic, boost agricultural production in the state, and avert food scarcity in the coming years. Farmers equally benefited from the state government program of decentralizing access to inputs, such as fertilizers and seedlings, as well as access to training in new farming, processing, storage, and marketing techniques. In order to position the youth for the future leadership roles, the administration launched the Ibila Youth Academy. This is to expose participants to leadership challenges that would make youth better informed when making decisions. The Academy focuses on creative thinking, entrepreneurship, finance and investment, ICT innovation, among others. The presence of COVID-19 pandemic in the state has brought about the total lockdown of all social and economic activities in the state for the first time in history. However, as a government that understands the plight of its citizens, measures were put in place to ease the lockdown and reopen the economy. These include maintaining of social distance in public places, regular washing of hands with soap and running water, use of nose masks, and restricting large gatherings in the state. As a result of the effect of COVID-19 pandemic, Mr. Governor took a giant step to support the business sector in the state. Governor SANWO-OLU approved a 3-month moratorium to members of micro, small and medium enterprise, MSME, who had borrowed from the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, LSETF. These concessions is to cushion the effect of COVID-19 pandemic on their business. The moratorium will serve as a palliative to encourage entrepreneurship and sustain the confidence of small-scale industrialists and MSME operators in the state. Lagos State is a pace-setter and unarguably the most populated in the country. This is why Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's administration continues to deploy different strategies to reposition and make the state a 21st century economy. As such, and without doubt, these developments will help businesses and in turn grow the economy of the state to achieving a smart city.